Okay, Ms. Armistead, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you happen to hire an attorney at all?
No, they said I make too much money, but I don't have a job at the moment.
Okay, you're currently unemployed?
Yes.
I think you were originally denied court-appointed counsel because of your employment. Did you want to reapply for court-appointed counsel?
Yes, please.
Okay, hang tight. We'll get you in a private meeting room when someone's available so they can get some new information for you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
This is Mr. Pierre.
Yes, ma'am. And Your Honor, this is going to be a no contest plea. There should be an advice of rights form in the file already, but I do have a report for the court to review.
You may. We're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Luma Pierre, file number 21-02460. Counsel appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. Aaron Housefield on behalf of the people.
Thank you, Your Honor. Robert Palmer of the Public Defender's Office appearing on behalf of Luma Pierre, the gentleman who's standing to my right.
Okay, today's the date that was set for preliminary examination and rights and plea information sheet here, and also you indicated to the court it's going to be a no contest plea.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. What's the offer?
Thank you, Your Honor. The defendant is going to plead no contest to an added count 2 of malicious destruction of property, $200 or more, but less than $1,000 pursuant to 750.377A1C1. The maximum penalty on that, Your Honor, is 1 year and or $2,000. There's also a stipulated agreement to restitution, the amount which still needs to be determined. In consideration for that plea, Your Honor, the people will move to dismiss count 1. There's also a sentencing agreement that there's a killabrew to no upfront jail.
Okay, you said add account to what's just destruction of property.
200 to 1,000, Your Honor.
And Mr. Palmer, that's a complete and accurate understanding.
That is a complete and accurate statement of the agreement, Your Honor.
What is the purpose of the no contest?
Your Honor, Mr. Pierre was suffering from a mental health emergency, I think at the time, is the best way to categorize it. He was subsequently hospitalized as a result of that event. He, at this time, based on my conversations with him, he certainly is not denying the matter, but he just doesn't recall it efficiently to put it down, to lay a factual basis for it.
Okay, how are you, Mr. Pierre?
I'm good.
Okay, so today's the date that was scheduled for your preliminary examination. As you've heard, the offer was that it was extended was for you to plead guilty or plead no contest to an added count 2 of malicious destruction of property, $200 or less than $1,000. You're agreeing to pay restitution and that there is a killabrew of no upfront jail. Is that what you remember your offer to be, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury.
That's how
Can you speak up, please?
I do swear.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. So you have the right to be represented by counsel. You are represented by Mr. Palmer from the Office of the Public Defender. You have the right to proceed to a trial in this matter, and you have the right to have a jury trial. At the time of jury trial, you have the right to have the prosecution prove each element of the charge against you. You have to prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt. In order to plead no contest today, you would have to waive your right to have a trial of any kind. Is that what you want to do? Okay. And you have, is this your signature here, sir?
Yes.
Have you read this document?
No, he read it to me.
Okay, you have any questions about the information in this document that was read to you by your attorney?
No.
Okay. And so if you waive your trial rights, that means you're not gonna have an opportunity to question any of the witnesses that the prosecution intended to call. You're not gonna have an opportunity to call your own witnesses or present any evidence that you would have to your defense. And then you're gonna waive your right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. You understand that?
I understand.
Okay, has there been any promises made to you to get you to waive your rights today?
No,
Anybody threatening you to get you to waive your rights?
no.
Are you currently on probation or parole?
Yes, I'm on probation at the time.
You on probation?
Yeah.
Okay, out of what court?
What?
Judge, he's on probation with Judge Ward of this court.
Okay.
And they are aware, Your Honor. He was actually scheduled for a probation violation earlier this week because of, and the violation is this case.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And they've adjourned that to just to see what happened with the preliminary examination. So they're certainly aware of all of this. And I've discussed that with Mr. Pierre, the potential consequences of this case on his probation status.
Very good. And sir, do you also understand that a criminal conviction could have an impact on any immigration status that you have? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. You also understand that you may have to report this conviction to any current employer or future job opportunity. You understand that as well?
Yeah.
You still wish to waive your rights today?
Yes.
As to the added count 2 of malicious destruction of property, how do you plead, sir?
No contest.
Okay, Court has Lansing Police Department report number 2151908-495 states that on September 5th, 2021 at or around 12:07 p.m. in the area of 4031 West Jolly Road, apartment 22 in Lansing, Michigan, Ingham County. Witness gave a statement. Vincent Gomez is the husband of the victim. Gomez was sitting in his vehicle at the time of the crime while sitting in his vehicle, which was parked across the aisle from the target vehicle. The accused was on the passenger side of the vehicle, stabbing the tires. After witnessing Pierre stab the tire, he started walking east on Jolly Road towards Quality Dairy. Gomez advised that he knows Luma on site as he is the father of several of Gomez's grandchildren. States here, all 4 tires on a 2008 Dodge Avenger black in color were stabbed with a knife. 2 tires on the front of the car were Mastercraft. The cost of the tires are $500. And then 2 tires on the back of the car, Firestone. The cost of the tires being $500. When officers made contact with Luma, he was holding a Dollar Tree plastic bag. Once he was taken into custody, officers located several knives in the bag. One of the knives was a used one, and the others were brand new, still in packages. The knives were turned over to Officer Mason to be tagged in. Are you satisfied with the factual basis, Madam Prosecutor?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Palmer?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, the court believes that due to the mental health crisis that the defendant was suffering, that a no contest plea was or is appropriate. I will accept your no contest plea today. I find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. This matter will be set for sentencing. Your sentencing date is going to be on January 14th, 2022 at 8:30 in the morning. Prior to sentencing, you need to meet with probation so they can provide the court with a pre-sentence report and recommendation. Okay, sir?
Sentencing mean the jail time?
I have not given you a sentence yet. I don't know what I'm going to sentence you to. I understand there's a killable agreement, so I'm just going to let you know that if at the time of sentencing, if I am going to sentence you to jail time, I'll give you an opportunity to withdraw your plea then, okay? Do you have any questions today? Okay, you need to probably go down to probation before you leave here today, okay?
Or it say go down to probation?
Correct.
I'll escort him down. Your
Okay.
Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing for the people, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
And nothing from the defense.
Thank you.
Your Honor, if the court doesn't have a particular order, Mr. Milks is here for a PCC. He has a couple of preliminary examinations scheduled at 54 B set to start at 9. And he and I are just seeking to adjourn this. So if the court would be agreeable, may we call that case next?
For Bernard, correct. Alicia Bernard.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Alicia Bernard, the file number 20-03448FY, council appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. Aaron Housefield on behalf of the people.
And good morning, Your Honor. Stephen Milks on behalf of Ms. Bernard, both of us appearing via Zoom and waiving our in-court appearance, Your Honor.
Okay, and I see Ms. Bernard is present. Today is the date that was set for a probable cause conference. I think there was an issue previously of a photo lineup, and we need further adjournment. Is that correct, counsel?
That is correct, Your Honor. Has a correct recollection. In fact, Your Honor, the people are still waiting on the supplemental police report detailing the photo lineup. I do not know. I have had a conversation with the detective. He tells me that it is done and has been submitted. I'm not sure why there's a lag between it being with police records and being with my office, but at this time, I am not in possession of it and therefore unable to provide it to Mr. Milks. So the people would be asking for, unless Mr. Milks wants to set this on for preliminary examination and try to find it in the meantime, I'm just concerned that we will be before this court asking for an adjournment of the preliminary examination if there is some breakdown in this report. So I would leave it to the court and Mr. Milks' position as to whether we adjourn or set on for preliminary examination.
Thank you. Mr. Milks?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I believe we're currently scheduled for preliminary examination on the 24th, just because I had a scheduling error or a conflict with next week. I'm fine with leaving it on for the 24th. I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks even, I think should be sufficient. I had a chance to speak with Ms. Housefield regarding some of the delays here, and I think 3 weeks should be sufficient rather than just the typical 1 week.
Okay, so you said it's already, the exam is already scheduled for the 24th? It is on.
Sorry, Ron.
I see it on. Okay, so we can continue to that date. Are you not requesting another PCC date, are you?
Your Honor, I'll defer to Mr. Milks, but I don't believe we need one. He and I have been in a lot of communication regarding this file, and certainly once we are both in receipt of the missing report, he and I will be able to have essentially what would amount to a probable cause conference. If there's an issue that would need to go before Your Honor, certainly we can alert the court.
Very well. So this matter will continue until the 24th for exam date. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing for the people, Your Honor. Thank you.
Nothing for the defense, Your Honor. Thank you very much, and thank you, Ms. Housefield.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're all set for today, Ms. Bernard.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. Okay, who do we have here?
What?
Are we having an exam on Rice?
I don't know, Your Honor. I need a moment to speak with Mr. Samuels, if I may.
Okay, so let me get some of these people off the Zoom first. I have Mr. Martin here. Which one are you on, Mr. Martin?
Your Honor, I'm on Armstead and DeFonso Weaver, which I believe is Mr. Green's case. And I'm also on one other file.
Okay, we need to get Ms. Armstead reevaluated. I don't know if one of the public defenders that's here today can assist. She's no longer employed. She was previously denied court appointment.
And as the court is aware, she will need conflict counsel. She can't be represented by the public defender's office. So that has been a challenge with some of these cases.
Indeed. Okay, let's see. I see Dewan Bush. Well, I see his name, Mr. Bush. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I see Rothstein. Does that, have you been contacted by Jeffrey Rothstein already?
Yes. He doesn't know anything about today, though.
What do you mean he doesn't know anything about today?
I talked to him and he wasn't. I have two different. One of them is for discharge and then a domestic, I think.
Okay, well, he files appearance on this case, so he should know
Okay.
about today. Okay, he filed it on the 28th. Do you see if you can find out where Mr. Rothstein is and have him log in? Okay, we'll see if we can get your attorney on the phone. DeFonso Weaver?
Yes.
Okay, I can't see you. Okay, Mr. Weaver, I don't see that you've been appointed attorney yet. Let's see.
I got Vince Green.
Okay, Mr. Green,
Yes, good morning, Your Honor.
good morning. Are you gonna file an appearance on this?
Oh, definitely, Your Honor. And I'm not sure why it hasn't either gone out or the court hasn't received it. I sent a message to my assistant yesterday. I was working from home, and then I sent her one this morning. So it should be coming hopefully today. So.
Okay,
And Mr. Green has been in touch with me about the case, Your Honor. So I'm aware that he's appearing for Mr. Weaver.
okay, so we have this exam scheduled at this point for December 16th at 8:30 in the morning. So we were holding the PCC in its place today just to make sure, or to keep track as to whether or not conflict counsel was found. So he does have conflict counsel. Unless we need to address something on the record today, you and Mr. Weaver are all set. We'll wait to get your appearance. And then right now, the exam is going to be scheduled for the 16th of December.
December, Your Honor?
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you,
Your
Your
Honor,
Honor.
if I may, just given the nature of the case with the number of co-defendants, does the court think there's any wisdom in setting another PCC perhaps a week before?
We can absolutely do that.
Just to encourage that conversation to happen before the preliminary exam date.
That's fine.
We can do Friday, December 10th at 8:30.
It'll be Friday, December 10th at 8:30.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Your Honor.
No problem. So we're all set for Mr. Weaver for today.
All right.
Okay, and we're gonna wait to see if Mr. Bush's attorney logs in. I have two public defenders here. I need someone that could give somebody an intake who was previously denied a public defender and now she's unemployed. From that 6 co-defendant one.
Okay. Want me to do that on Zoom?
Please, if you could.
What's his name?
It's a she, it's a Liasia Armistead.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter, you're here for William Ball, correct?
Correct.
I think that's when we had the bad news on, correct? Okay, the bad news is Mr. Ball could not be here because he's no longer at Wayne County.
Yes, I was made aware of that this morning. I've had no contact with him because he was incarcerated in Wayne County. I did send him out a police report. I don't know if he even got that because I don't know how long it takes for them to process mail. And since he was released yesterday to the Detroit Rescue Mission, I'd ask the court for another PCC sometime. I'd leave it to the court's discretion, but I was thinking at the end of November or beginning of December, so that gives me ample amount of time to get in contact with him and go over the police report.
Okay, we'll give you a new PCC date.
Thursday, December 2nd at 1.
For PCC.
Yeah.
Mr. Ball also is on the docket for his misdemeanor pre-trial. So Mr. Pfeiffer is on felony and I am on the misdemeanor case.
Okay.
If the court would like to just set the misdemeanor case with the felony.
The misdemeanor is the 21-02869.
And yes, and I'd obviously make the same request for the misdemeanor case.
What date was said for the PCC?
What was that date again?
I said December 2nd at 1.
At 1.
Your Honor, I would request a much earlier PCC. There are several concerns here, the least of which being he has not posted his bond for this county. And from my understanding, Detroit Rescue is not a jail or inpatient or anything like that. It's a shelter.
He's already set for November 18th at 8:30, so we can convert that to a PCC.
Thank you. And I've requested he's here in person. This is the case that I wanted to have a bond hearing before, but we had no defendant or attorney. Mr. Carter, are you in receipt of a supplemental report for the jail calls that he made?
No.
As a preview, he threatens to murder officers.
Wow. Who's speaking, by the way?
Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Adam Pfeiffer.
Okay, thank you. I apologize. I didn't catch your name. That I understand the concern, so it's my understanding we'll convert the PE as a PCC on November 18th. I'll try to get a hold of him and get him here.
Thank you, and I'll make sure you get the report as well as the actual calls themselves.
Very well. Your Honor, is it possible to set the pretrial on the misdemeanor for that day too?
Yes, that will be set on the 18th as well.
All right.
At 8:30 for both.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Carter?
Nothing further.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And
Okay, Ms. Armistead? Liasia Armistead, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, ma'am, are you laying down?
So I'm setting up everything.
Okay, you need to get out. This is court. I'm gonna put you in the private meeting room with someone from the public defender's office, okay?
Yes.
Or Mr. Brown, you said? Couldn't find anyone?
No, Bush.
Okay. Mr. Bush,
Yes.
you could not locate your attorney, so what we're going to do, we do have his appearance, so I'm not sure why he's not here today. You're except for a preliminary examination on December 16th. We're gonna give you another PCC
Okay.
and yeah, the same one, the same day we did the other one. It will be December 10th at 8:30, okay?
Okay.
Is that the time we did the other one? Yeah. Okay. You're all set, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, I see Ania's iPhone and Malachi McAfee.
Yes.
Mr. McAfee, I need to see your face. Who's representing Mr. McAfee?
It's me, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's right.
We're on the record in the matter, the people of the city, I'm sorry, state of Michigan versus Malachi McAfee. File number is 21-02890. Council points.
Thank you, Your Honor. Aaron Husted on behalf of the people.
This is Public Defender Scott Nickel on behalf of Mr. McAbee, who is present over Zoom.
Names, the dates for a preliminary examination. How we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. It's my understanding that the defendant wishes to enter a waiver to circuit court. The people would also unconditionally waive their right to have a preliminary examination and ask that the matter be bound over on the complaint as filed.
Mr. Nickel.
That is correct, and it's also my understanding because of the nature of the charges, there's no offer pending at this time that will have to be negotiated in circuit court.
That would be accurate, Your Honor.
You, Mr. McAfee, do you understand that you have a constitutional right to have a preliminary examination here in the district court?
Yes.
You understand that at the time of the examination, you have the right to have the prosecutor bring sufficient evidence to establish their burden of probable cause. So that's probable cause that a crime was committed, probable cause to charge you with the crime. You understand that?
Yes.
You wish to unconditionally waive your exam today?
Yes.
So that means you can't come back later and say you want the exam. Once it's waived, it's gone. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay, so this matter will then be bound over to the circuit court for a pretrial. Find your waiver to be made freely and voluntarily. Your bind over date, sir, is going to be November 17, 2021. You do not need to appear in court on that date, okay? That's the date that the circuit court is going to get the file from this court. They'll set your next court date and Mr. Nickel will be made aware of that, okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
No problem. Are you still at the address on 900 Long Boulevard, apartment 549?
No, I am not. I actually updated my address with the PR bond people. It's 201 Carwell, Inkster, Michigan.
Okay. Is your phone number the same?
Yes.
Okay. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing for the people, Your Honor. Thank you.
Nothing from defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
Bond will continue. You're all set, sir.
All right, thank you.
CVS iPhone, what's your name, ma'am?
My name is Nia Nealon.
I can't hear you. Okay, Ms. Nalon, last time I spoke to you, I asked you to go get prints.
I did. I told you the same day that I was going to get prints. I went that same day. They got my prints down there.
I'm sorry?
She did.
Okay, you get that paperwork completed for me? Okay, we do have your prints. We just need them to complete the paperwork.
Okay.
Let's see here. Does she not have an attorney?
Nobody has contacted me yet.
Okay, hold tight when the Mr. Abbott comes back out to see if he can explain to me what's going on with your application for court appointed counsel. Okay. Did I see Liddell Brown already?
Mr. Brown indicated that he was going to represent himself, Your Honor, if you may recall, at the PCC. I don't know if he is here in the hallway somewhere. If not, I would ask that that be a bench warrant and I can release any witnesses that are here on that.
So he's here?
Oh, he is here? Okay.
Are you Liddell Brown?
Yes.
Okay, you can have a seat back there. This is, are we moving forward with the exam on this?
I don't know, Your Honor. I need
Okay,
a
you
moment.
can have a
just
seat
to-
there. I just wanted to know if he was here.
Yep, I'm sorry, because I've been in here, I just haven't had a chance to confirm
That's no
anyone that's
problem.
arrived. I can say I'm
Somebody
ready
else
on,
in here needs to go on the record now?
I'm ready on Rice, Your Honor. The people will be entering an alley on that.
Okay. On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Jawan Kate Rice, file number 21-02327FY, counsel is here.
Thank you, Your Honor. Aaron Housefield on behalf of the people.
Matthew Samuels on behalf of Juwan Rice, who is present, standing to my right.
Today was the date that was scheduled for a preliminary examination. And Ms. Hospital, you said you were going to be moving to Nolly this case?
Yes, Your Honor. I only learned this morning that one of my material witnesses is no longer with the Lansing Police Department and is in Kent County. I apologize to the court and to the other party. If I had known this, I would have advised ahead of time.
Okay, so this case will be dismissed without prejudice, okay? Did you explain what that means to your client?
I will, Your
Do you have any questions today, sir? Okay, you're all set. Thank you.
Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thanks.
Okay, Mr. Abbott, were you able to
Yes.
do an intake for Ms. Armistead?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
Okay, so Ms. Armistead, I'm gonna have to give you a new date sooner than the others, just because I want to make sure you get an attorney, okay? If you're
Okay.
eligible for it. I have a date next week. Or the week after. November 18th at 8:30, okay, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you.
That's November 18th.
Yes, I just need to make sure she has an attorney by then, yeah.
I understand. Thank you.
Your Honor, what's the case number on this case?
Yes, it's 21-02870.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
No problem, thank you. Actually, Ms. Abbott, I have another person here who is still waiting. I don't know if you can look in your system and give me an update. Nia Nalon.
NALON.
I'm gonna hang up.
Okay.
Nalon, Neylon.
Okay.
You need something, sir?
No, I'm just waiting.
Oh. Till is not coming, correct? Yes. Are you waiting on Till? He won't be here. Okay. Are you able to practice in this court, sir? Do you need another date, or I don't know what's going on?
Well, we were prepared today. Apparently it wasn't read over, so another day. So.
Right, he was read, they just they won't release him.
Oh.
Yeah, we've had that we've had this multiple times with Till. As if they won't release him until whatever's going on with the facts. So we can reset it. Can you give him a new date on Till? December 9th work for you?
Yes.
At 8:30. At 8:30. Okay. You gave him the paperwork already?
No, it's everything.
Okay. That. Okay, Mr. Abbott, were you able to get an update?
Yes, Your Honor, Ms. Nalon did file a request for a court-appointed attorney, but the information was incomplete. We've been unable to collect that information so far. Perhaps if I had a moment with Ms. Nalon in the breakout room, I could complete the application.
Okay, Ms. Nalon? I'm gonna put you in the meeting room with someone from the public defender's office so they can get some more information, okay?
Okay, thank you.
No problem. I'll add her to your room, Mr. Abbott. Okay, Ms. Elsfield.
Thank you, Your Honor. My understanding is that Mr. Timothy Wilson, who's here, is going to be a waiver. He has Mr. Nickel, who may be in another court at the moment.
Just stepped in and like just stepped out.
Okay.
She might be in the hallway.
So he's going to be a waiver, Your Honor. And I don't know, to be honest, which other defendants are present. I know who I have, but I don't know who on the other side is here. Oh, Mr. Bigelow is gone.
Okay, Mr. Tamal, is your client here?
Yes.
Okay, what are we doing on that one? Do you know?
Does he want to run it? Okay, just a moment, Anna.
No problem.
I have some witnesses here on that.
You're on Pratt, you're on.
Pat, I'm gonna have to dismiss, Your Honor. I don't have the appropriate witness. So if the court would like to do that, I could certainly get that off the docket.
We're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Terry Jermaine Pratt, file number 21-02413. Counsel, can I have your appearances?
Thank you, Your Honor. Aaron Housfield on behalf of the people.
Alexander Hill on behalf of Terry Pratt, who's standing to my right.
Today's date set for preliminary examination. The prosecution has indicated that they're going to move to dismiss. You don't have the necessary witnesses, ma'am?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so that means that this matter will be dismissed without prejudice. If the necessary witnesses later appear and want to move forward with the case, then the prosecution can reissue the charges against you. Do you understand that? Okay, do you have any questions today, sir?
Oh, no.
Okay, this matter will be dismissed without prejudice. Thank you.
Have a nice day, Your Honor.
You too.
Not yet.
Thank you.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Timothy Wilson, file number 21-01922, council appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. Aaron Housefield on behalf of the people.
And Scott Nickel on behalf of Mr. Wilson, who is present and standing to my right.
Thank you. Today's the date that's set for a preliminary examination. How are we proceeding today?
Thank you, Your Honor. It's my understanding that the defendant intends to waive his right to a preliminary examination. The people would also unconditionally waive their right to hold the preliminary examination and ask that the matter be bound over to the circuit court on the complaint as filed. Based on the type of charge, the negotiations may continue at circuit court, but there's no offer to place on the record here today.
Okay, counsel?
And that is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Wilson, you understand you have the constitutional right to have a preliminary examination here in the district court?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that you have the right to have the prosecution establish the burden of probable cause, so that's probable cause that the crime was committed and probable cause to charge you with that crime. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you wish to unconditionally waive your exam here today?
Yes, ma'am.
So that means that there will be no hearing in which the people will provide any evidence to meet their burden. This matter will be bound over to the circuit court for further proceedings. That's what you want, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody made any promises to you to get you to waive your hearing today?
No, ma'am.
Anybody threatening you?
No.
Sign your waiver to be freely and voluntarily made. This matter will be bound over to the circuit court. Your bind over date's November 17th, but you do not need to appear in court on that date, okay, sir? That's the date that they'll receive the file from this court. They'll set your next court date, and Mr. Okay. And Mr. Nickel will be made aware. Let's see. You still have the address at 3200 South Washington? Okay, do you have any questions today, sir?
No.
Bond will continue. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing for the people, Your Honor. Thank you.
Nothing, sorry. Nothing for defense, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're all set. Okay, do we know what happened with Ms. Naylon? Mr. Abbott, man.
Pardon me.
Oh, yeah, oh, it's right there. I didn't know you were in here. Do we know what's going on with her?
Yes, Your Honor, I've established better communication with her and confident she'll provide us with the necessary information.
Okay, I'm gonna reset your PCC. No, she doesn't have an attorney. Can we give her a time on the 18th? I'm gonna reset this to November 18th at 8:30 to see if you'll get appointed, court-appointed counsel. Okay, Ms. Naylor?
All right, thank you.
No problem. You should stay in communication with the public defender's office so you can, if they need additional information, they can get it, okay?
All right.
All right, you're all set.
Sorry, Your Honor, just to clarify, the date on the 18th, is that a PCC? Thank you, Your Honor.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, Ms. Naylor.
All right.
Your Honor, do we have a Love, just Kenneth Love? He is, okay. We do have the victim on that and could proceed if he wishes to run it. I don't know who the, anybody know who the PD is?
I don't know.
Right here.
Abbott, oh, is he gonna run? He is, okay. Okay, so we could, whenever the parties are ready on that. On
Liddell Brown.
Dow Brown, Your Honor, I believe I did an alley on that? Did we? If we did
I
not,
have the file here, so we can wait for Nolan.
Or Nowling?
yes,
Okay, you do not have the necessary witnesses?
I do not, Your Honor.
Sir, can you come up, please? Okay, we're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Liddell Brown and file number 21-02876, council appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. Aaron Hoskins on behalf of the people.
Okay, Mr. Brown, you do not have counsel. Can you state your name, please?
Liddell Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Today was the date that was set for a preliminary examination and a PA 53 contempt violation. The people do not have the necessary witnesses to move forward with the examination. I'm assuming that same witness is the witness necessary for the PA 53 violation. This matter will be dismissed without prejudice. So that means that if the witness later wants to move forward with the prosecution, the prosecutor can reissue the charges against you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
That means you would have to be rearranged and post bond again, okay?
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
No, I do not.
Okay, you're all set. You can have a seat there. We'll get you a copy of the knowledge.
I actually wanted to say something too. Dealing with this situation, I had to stay out of my own car. I work, and this has been humiliating to me. Going to work with the same smelly clothes out of an apartment I paid for, and it's in my name. When this is resolved, I'm gonna get another PPO against this person. She's already late on rent and removed from my place of residency.
Okay.
So you will not hear anything else from me.
Okay,
Yes,
well,
ma'am.
that's the hope, and you know, you filed that PPO over at Circuit Court, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you can have a seat there. We'll get you a copy of the paperwork showing that this matter has been dismissed, okay?
Your Honor, would the court like me to note anything about the PA 53 on the knowledge?
Well, the court's gonna dismiss that, so you're all
Thank you.
set. There you go. Thank you. What about Matson?
Your Honor, I have indicated to Mr. Tamal, and I will advise the court, I have 3 witnesses that are needed to run the preliminary examination. 2 of the 3 are here. The third that is not is a police officer who's been in communication with my office. She had a medical appointment this morning of a quote sensitive nature, and she was going to be there all day. She only alerted my office to this information this morning. I've spoken with the 2 lay witnesses who are here about returning if they need to, or starting the exam and continuing. I will defer to the court on whether we begin the exam and continue the matter for the officer, whether the court would grant a good cause adjournment, if not, or whether Mr. Matson would request a dismissal, and then I would defer to the court.
We have the 2 lay witnesses, and you said the officer is, I would grant an adjournment if the officer is notifying you that he or she, I'm assuming, had a medical emergency or a medical appointment. I would grant the adjournment, so.
And would that be the court's preference over starting the exam and continuing it?
I don't have a problem with having the 2 lay witnesses today if they're already here, so they don't have to come back.
I don't know if Mr. Tamal has a position.
Are we going on the record? Yes.
We're not on the record, we can.
I prefer going on the record.
So on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Vincent Matson, file number 21-01143, council appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. Aaron Hoskins on behalf of the people.
Your Honor, Eric Tomal for defendant who's present.
Is the date that was set for preliminary examination. And actually, Mr. Jamal, you filed a motion on this matter, correct?
Yes.
Okay. We'll address your motion.
Excuse me?
We'll address your motion.
In regards to the motion, I have laid out the reasons why there's been a breakdown. It's ongoing to this very moment. It doesn't seem healthy to act like continued representation, Mr. Mattson, based upon various factors. And I don't know if I need to get to every specific detail. But
Well,
just,
your motion didn't give much detail other than that he was rude and he had a bad attitude and he was condescending, but I think that's common amongst defense, or can be common. So I needed to know what specifically is the breakdown.
breakdown is Mr. Mattson believes he has a self-defense defense, which he does not. And we have issues about our trial strategy. We're not seeing eye to eye on trial issues. And it's an endless battle between him and I about what the evidence shows, what people are saying, and the self-defense part of it. It's going to continue unless, I guess, he hears it from some other attorney that he doesn't have a self-defense issue.
Okay, I don't know that changing the attorney is going to change that. Mr. Mattson, how are you?
Good.
Okay, and so you're having an issue with your attorney?
I mean, me and my mom both have had an issue with
Your mom's not a party in here. You're the
yeah,
party.
but she's a witness to it.
Your mom's not a party here.
Okay. So I really don't know what to say.
Okay, so this is court appointed, correct?
Yes, Mr. Mattson, if you like a new attorney, tell the judge.
Oh yeah, I would like a new attorney.
And why would you like a new attorney?
He doesn't want to represent me. It's a conflict of interest.
How is it a conflict of interest?
If he doesn't want to represent me, then how is he going to do his
I don't
job?
believe what he's stating is he doesn't want to represent you. What he's stating is that you're creating an atmosphere that makes it difficult for him to represent you.
Right,
It's his
and-
responsibility to formulate arguments and strategy. That's not your responsibility, okay? And whereas he may take into consideration what you're saying as about strategy.
I haven't tried any strategy, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
I haven't tried telling him any kind of strategy. I have not talked to him with any kind of trial strategy. I just asked him questions and he gets really defensive and really rude.
Okay.
I just ask him questions. That's all I do.
Okay, so the two of you are just not getting along. Is that what's going on?
I have no idea why he's living the way.
Are you getting along with him?
I mean, I try not to argue with him when he comes at me and attacks me verbally.
How's he attacked you verbally?
He says he doesn't like my attitude or I'm rude, and like I'm just asking him questions. That's all I am. You know, he doesn't. You know, it's hard to get him to answer me. It's and he gets really in his tone, really mean. I don't like it.
Okay.
It's hard for me to discuss with him. Me being someone with trauma, a mental illness, and going through the situation that I'm going through right now, not with the courts, but being homeless, working, having people in the street try to attack me and threaten me, me pulling a guy out of the river on Monday, saving his life. It's just I'm dealing with a lot, and he's not showing any empathy.
I'm sure you're dealing with a lot. I think all adults are dealing with a lot. Okay,
Right.
sir.
He's not showing me any empathy with what I'm saying, Your Honor.
Okay. And you think that you're going to get a different result from a different court-appointed counsel?
He's the one who wanted to quit. I had nothing about firing him or saying anything. He's the one who does not want to work for me.
Well, if you're making it difficult for him, and I'm not satisfied that that's the case at this point, then I can understand why he would do that. But I'm not satisfied that the attorney-client relationship is so irreconcilable that you all cannot work together to resolve this matter. And so I'm going to deny the request to withdraw from this case. So we can address the issue of the preliminary examination, which is scheduled for today.
Your Honor, my position is if people are unable to conclude exam today, I'm asking for dismissal. My understanding that the police officer witness was subpoenaed and she just chose not to show up.
Okay, well, I don't think she just chose not to show up. She had a sensitive medical issue is what I was informed. And so we set this matter last week for exam date. I'm going to find the good cause based on the medical issue or the medical concern of the officer to granting adjournment. I have no problem with proceeding with testimony today on the lay witnesses because they're already here.
Certainly, Your Honor.
So we can proceed today on those.
Okay.
Any additional matters before we proceed to those? Or did you want to, did you do it now or do another hearing first, another exam first?
It doesn't matter. I know that Mr. Pfeiffer has something just very short, I believe, that he's waiting on. And if the court would be agreeable to allow him to go first, it may allow a case to get off your docket. And then I know that Ms. James is on for a waiver of the Ben file, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Pfeiffer's waiting on which matter?
Corey Hale, Your Honor. It will result in either dismissal or an adjournment today.
Okay, we're off the record on this one. Okay, I'm assuming then it's going to be an adjournment or a waiver.
Ben is going to be a waiver, Your Honor.
Corey Hale. Is Corey Hale here? Who's in?
Corey Hale is
Okay, we'll do Ben. We're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Kenneth Ben, file number 21-01898. Council appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. Aaron Housefield on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Gidget James on behalf of Mr. Kenneth Ben.
Okay, good morning. Today's date for Mr. Ben's preliminary examination, and my understanding is there's going to be an unconditional waiver. Is that accurate?
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, the people would unconditionally waive their right to a preliminary examination and ask that the matter be bound over to the circuit court on the complaint as filed.
Is there an offer?
Your Honor, that is a correct statement.
And no, there was not an offer, Your Honor.
I'm getting that.
Ms. James?
Your Honor, that is a complete and accurate statement. Mr. Ben is unconditionally waiving his right to a preliminary exam and agreeing to bind this matter over the circuit court. He understands that if he waives this, it is forever waived. He cannot come back to this court at a later date and request any type of proceedings.
Thank you, Mr. Ben. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay, is anybody make any threats to you to make you to waive your exam today?
No.
Anybody promise you anything to cause you to want to waive your exam?
No.
Find your waiver to be freely and voluntarily made. Your matter will be bound over to the circuit court for a bind over date on November 17th, 2021. You do not need to appear in circuit court on that date. That's just the date they'll get the file from this court, okay?
Yes.
Okay, they'll set your next date for appearance in circuit court. Your attorney will be made aware of that. Do you have any questions today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you still at the address on, is it Mifflin?
Yeah, 306 Mifflin Avenue.
Okay. Bond will continue. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing for the people, Your Honor. Thank you.
Nothing for defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Be well, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay. Love was in custody, is that what you're saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very good.
Hale?
Is Hale in custody too, I think? Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Hale's in
sorry. I
custody.
thought you said Hale, Your Honor. My apologies.
Well, they both have a jail tag, so they may both be in custody.
And what was the other one, Your Honor?
Love.
Oh, yes. And I do believe that will be run, Your Honor. The victim is here and Mr. Abbott indicates his client was just started on the exam.
Okay, and then is it Keothi?
Yes, I don't know.
He's here.
Okay. Is he gonna run? Okay. Last I checked, Your Honor, I was waiting on one witness on Siafi, so I will double check.
Okay, and I'm not sure what's happening here. I don't see the file. Craddock? Is that it? It's on my docket, but I don't have a file for it. Darius Craddock. You all know what's going on with that part?
I emailed with Mr. Vigil this morning, so it was set for PCC, Your Honor. Essentially, it was set for PCC prior with a PE for today, but Your Honor converted this date to the PCC because he failed to appear at the last PCC. He is not represented by counsel. We were waiting to see if counsel might appear and or defendant might appear today. It appears that neither counsel has been appointed nor Mr. Craddock is present.
Is he on bench warrant already?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't need to file. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, well, we're gonna run some in there.
Okay. And you're gonna need some of the Okay. Yeah. And nobody got it?
Right.
Hail, I think he's gonna hail. Just sounds like the rest of them on the dock, they're running and Hale's the one that isn't. Supposed to run, should have run. I'm just happy I found out the day before, not the day.
Yeah.
Now jammed up down there. Now come to come upstairs.
Certainly a busy day up here, only stands to reason it's busy down there too today.
We're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Corey Hale, file number 21-02740FY. Council appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Adam Pfeiffer for the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. John Abbott representing Corey Hale, present standing to my right.
Today's the date that was scheduled for preliminary examination. How are we proceeding on this?
Your Honor, the people will be asking for an adjournment today as we are unable to proceed due to a apparently clerical error with our office. To be blunt, this exam was originally scheduled for the 28th. It was adjourned to today due to an inability to get counsel appointed initially. That's why the court waived the 21-day rule for good cause. Our office generated subpoenas, sent them all out for the 28th date. For whatever reason, that did not happen for today's. So subpoenas were never made or sent by the clerks in our office to the witnesses, and therefore the witnesses are not here. I would note necessary witnesses showed up on the 28th. So it is not that the people will be ultimately unable to proceed. We are willing to proceed solely with the officer who was here on the 28th. The subpoena simply never went out. Given the fact that the 21-day rule has already been waived due to issues on the defense side, I would ask for a adjournment in this matter.
Mr. Abbott.
Thank you, Ron. I think that would be unfair to Mr. Hale, that he'd have to wait another week or two because either the public defender's office couldn't process their paperwork fast enough or the prosecuting attorney's office couldn't process their paperwork fast enough. And he's sitting in jail now for a month almost. I guess the court to dismiss the case without prejudice, and if at some point in the future, the prosecutor can get their ducks in a row and will be ready, certainly from the defense side, we can proceed. It's my understanding that in addition to the police officers who interviewed the witness, there was, Mr. Hale was not present during the interview, so they'll need someone that can identify Mr. Hale as the person that the witness was talking about. They'll need to get in contact with their complaining witness. And it's my understanding they are not. So I'd ask the court to adjourn, to dismiss without prejudice and allow Mr. Hale to continue. If there is a case to be brought, we can bring it, and he doesn't have to pay the penalty by waiting around for us to get our ducks in a row. Thank you.
Mr. Abbott, you're saying that they are not in touch with the complaining witness?
I don't know if they are or not, Your Honor.
Oh.
I don't think she showed up last week. I don't know.
That's correct, Your Honor. We've not been able to make contact with the complaining witness, and that may be due to the fact that Mr. Hale's been trying to get in touch with the complaining witness. However, the people are able to proceed and confident and able to achieve bind over, including on the element of identification, solely with the officer. It is not the first time I will have done that in this court, and that will not be the last.
Okay. Not that I attribute the fact that the public defender's office is not kindly appointing counsel to the prosecution. So if there's a delay or the beginning, the first delay will not be attributed to the public defender. I'm sorry, to the prosecution. Clerical errors happen often. I will grant the request for the adjournment. The witnesses were here at the last hearing last week. So this matter will be reset for an exam. He has a bond of 7,510%. So you're saying he's unable to post that bond?
Correct, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I would ask that that bond remain in place, and that's due to the fact the defendant has tried to contact the victim in order to have these charges dismissed.
Okay, and is the prosecution bringing additional charges because of that?
It is not clear yet at this time. My unit is reviewing that decision. I can give a brief proffer as to the content if the court would like.
Okay, yeah, I mean, if the prosecution is going to get this information and don't do anything with it, then the court can't do anything with it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because that would be also a violation of a bond condition, but we don't have that information.
The information was discovered yesterday, Your Honor.
Okay, sounds good. The court's not intending to reduce the bond. I think the bond is reasonable, as
Thank you.
said. Do we have any time on the 18th?
Yes, we can do the 18th at 8:30.
Matter will be set until November 18th at 8:30. Any additional matters for the record?
Not from the people, Your Honor.
No, thank you. No,
Thank you. We'll see you on the 18th, sir.
So I gotta wait another 2 weeks to get to. Why do I keep postponing this time?
Are we ready on the next matter? Because we're off the record on this one. I'm all set. We're off the record on that one. I'll be right back.
I don't know. I can tell.
Yeah. There's like 2 open murders on that day.
My case is over, I'm sure.
Right, they've already decided we're moving over to Ward's courtroom because we have
What is he
one
saying that
of
I
the
tried to
murder
contact?
cases has like all
I don't know.
the witnesses. It's really bad.
Phone records and-
I keep doing the 18th, but I'm like, motherfucker, if he's the 18th has to stop another defense, like he still has room. We do not have room for the 18th. Because they just did another one earlier today for the 18th, so. Hey, Nick. No, not just second.
You're allowed.
I have a feeling we're gonna run.
All right, Kristen.
I have a feeling we're gonna run Matson first because your guys in custody. I was gonna tell Nick, like while he's down there, just give him a trip, but he just seconded me.
I really gotta go.
So I'm not.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he's gonna show up with your client.
And we're next, I think.
But-
What you gotta do.
I mean, if he has to go to the bathroom, it's gonna be a while, I'm sure, so.
All right, that's fine.
I mean, I don't know when she'll come back in, so. So I guess I was saying, if he pops up with your client, then yours will go next because he's in custody. If he doesn't pop up with your client, then we'll do Matson next because he's sitting here. And we'll get your client while we're running Matson. And then Siafi is, I guess. Sorry.
Now that he's got, you did get the messages and the call.
I did, I didn't read them.
Okay,
I'm
perfect.
ready for the other 3 preliminary exams. I didn't-
And that's why I wasn't gonna say anything while he was here.
Thank you.
No problem.
Are we gonna track down your Vic?
I don't know.
Is he actually?
That's for you, for someone else to figure out.
I don't need him today because my,
It's a
the
problem
2
with
lay
the
witnesses
one.
that are here,
Message to
observed
Missy, please tell her.
the
Hello,
incident.
Darcy, I'm trying to let Missy
They
know
know
I'm
the
here to
defendant.
report 31028.
So I just need
Right,
the
tell them that she didn't tell the truth to
officer
the police because she was upset,
to
so they'll drop
identify
the
the
charges and I can
victim.
get released from here.
It's literally, she's gonna come
Mostly
in and
along
provide
those
I made contact with.
lines.
here's the
Also,
name,
please
so
let
that
me
I
know you
can
got
match
this
up with
message.
the
Also
complaint.
ask Missy to
Just
set up a
zero.
video visit before I go to court.
But-
Very much appreciate you for helping. He's also called his father and said that also told him to track down
Hey, we're not
Missy
muted,
so I
guys.
can get in touch with her.
Hey, Adam, we're not muted.
You already went down there?
Well, it's gonna be public record.
That's fine. I just want you to know,
I appreciate
you're not muted, so.
Right.
I think we got
Yeah,
time.
it's-
but-
I just want to get
No, it's not the worst, but it's.
Mr. Rothstein,
Yes, good morning.
good morning, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
We're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty busy over here. We missed you at 8:30 though.
So I apologize, Your Honor. In my record of actions, when I got this case, it showed it already was set up for prelim December 16th, and I just looked on the register of actions that I have, and that's what it shows.
Okay, yeah, your client appeared because we set it for PCC and we set them all for PCC because we wasn't sure if they were gonna have attorneys, but this one is it's gonna be, because the exam date is so far out, there's a new PCC, it's gonna be on the 10th of December at 8:30.
No problem. Again, my apologies. Quite frankly, I was working on this case, looking it over this morning. So the new date is 12/10.
The new date for the PCC, the exam is as you noted, to be scheduled on the 16th, but the prosecutor requested a PCC date the week before that in case of possible waiver or resolution or anything else, okay?
Not a problem. And again, my extreme apologies. I definitely would have been there at 8:30 or contacted the prosecutor long before now. So I've got it set for 12/10. I'll be in contact with the prosecutor. We'll try and figure something out.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Bye. On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Lisa Matson, file number 21-01143FY, counsel appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. Aaron Hoskins on behalf of the people.
Your Honor, Eric Tamal for defendant.
Okay, and today was the date set for preliminary examination, but my understanding is there is a no contest plea.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. I believe the parties have reached an agreement. The defendant is going to plead no contest to an added count 2 of assault and battery pursuant to 750.81. Excuse me. In consideration of that plea, Your Honor, the people will move to dismiss count 1.
Okay, Mr. Jamal, that's a complete and accurate understanding.
Yes, and I have explained what a no contest plea means to the defendant, and he's agreeable. We went over the advice of rights, and he signed that, and we're all set.
Okay, what is the purpose of the no contest plea?
Lack of memory, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Matson, that's accurate. That's what you want to do is accept the no contest plea, sir?
Yes.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury? Okay, thank you. So you understand that you have the right to be represented by counsel. You are represented by Mr. Jamal. You have the right to proceed to a jury trial in this matter. You have the right at the time of jury trial to have the prosecution prove each element of the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand that?
Yes.
And so if you want to accept the offer and plead no contest to an added count 2 of assault and battery, you would have to give up your right to have a trial of any kind. Is that what you want to do?
Right, Your Honor.
Is anybody making any promises to you to get you to waive your rights?
No, Your Honor.
Is anybody threatening you to get you to waive your rights?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so you understand that you won't have an opportunity to question or cross-examine any of the witnesses that the prosecution was going to call?
That's right.
You understand that you'll give up your right to call your own witnesses or present evidence to prove a defense?
That's right.
And you understand you're going to give up the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you, correct?
Right.
I have an advice of rights and plea information sheet with today's date on it. Is that your signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you read this document?
Yes, I did.
You understand the rights listed there? Do you have any questions regarding these rights?
No, I know.
As to the added count 2 of assault and battery, how do you plead?
No contest.
Can you speak up, please?
No contest.
Thank you. I have Lansing Police Department police report for case number 21519033810. States here that on April 29, 2021 at 1:16 p.m. officers responded to the area of 315 West Lapeer in the city of Lansing, Ingham County for a fight complaint. Officers spoke with a Brian Sitskill, I believe it's how it's pronounced. On the date in question, Mr. Sitskill was standing, or stated he was standing on the sidewalk in front of 315 West Lapeer when Vincent exited the front door and started running towards him. Vincent spat on Brian and called him several racial slurs, including the N-word. Brian stated that Vincent had one hand behind his back and Brian was concerned that it was a weapon. Vincent then showed a butcher knife that he was holding behind his back and swung it towards Brian. Brian described the swinging motion as a horizontal swing across the body from the left to right. Brian stated that he had to bend backwards to avoid the knife cutting him around his neck area. Vincent swung the knife at Brian approximately 4 times while Brian was backing away from him towards the street in an eastern direction. Brian described this knife as a long butcher's knife with a black handler and silver blade. Vincent eventually went back inside 315 West Lapeer and yelled that he was going to call the police. Brian described the accused as a white male in his mid-30s, approximately 5'9", 5'10", with dark hair and glasses. It should be noted that this matched the description of Vincent. Officers made contact with the accused and asked Vincent where the knife was, and he responded that it was in the kitchen cabinet. Officers located the butcher's knife with a red sheathing in the kitchen cabinet. That was collected as evidence. It is unknown if this is the exact used in the crime, but it did match the description. Any additional factual basis, Madam Prosecutor?
Nothing for the people, Your Honor. Thank you.
Are you satisfied with a factual basis, Mr. Tamal?
Yes.
Okay, the court is also satisfied with the factual basis. I find the reason for no contest plea to be appropriate due to lack of memory. I find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. This matter will be set for sentencing. Sentencing will be Friday, January 14th at 8:30. It could be via Zoom if all parties consent.
The people would consent to sentencing by Zoom, Your Honor.
Do you have the ability to log in via Zoom, sir?
I don't think you do.
I don't have the ability.
You can come in person, that's fine.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will walk defendant down to probation right now.
Thank you. Do you have any questions for the court today, Mr. Mattson?
No, I do not. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Okay, any additional matters for the record?
Nothing for the people. Thank you.
Nothing for you.
Thank you. You're all set, sir.
Now we just need Mr. Abbott.